working on our woodland appliques. Let's go make the patchwork that goes in between. But first, always remember to share this so it was saved to your profile and you can find it when you're looking for it again later. We've been working on this super precious woodland animal quilt. Y'all, I love all of these appliques. What we're gonna do now is make the patchwork. Our patchwork is gonna be 4 across and 4 down. The appliques that y'all watch me make are 18 by 18 inch appliques. So what we're making is an 18 by 18 inch block. If you love the appliques but need them to be smaller, if 18 inches is too big for you, all you have to do is print them at less than 100%. So print them at 75% or 50%, depending on the size that you'd like to have them. These are 5 inch by 5 inch squares, and I started with 16 of them because they're gonna be 4 rows of 4. Now these are gonna go in between the appliques, and the total quilt will be 12 blocks. So you'll have 6 applique blocks and 6 patchwork blocks. Now I'm putting this patchwork in between the appliques, but you can choose any style of patchwork, or you could do a whole quilt with this style of patchwork. It's your quilt. I think deciding where your fabric goes may be one of the harder parts about making a quilt. Okay, we have our blocks lined up like we want them, 4 across and 4 down. The first thing I'm gonna do is start at the bottom, and I'm gonna make 4 stacks. I'm just pulling the block ahead of it on top until I have a stack of 4, the top one on the top and the last one on the bottom. I'm gonna do that to all 4 rows. Now I'm gonna take the first row and I'm going to pick up the top piece, turn it over, and place these pretty side to pretty side. I'm gonna sew these together with a 1/4 inch seam, back stitching when I start and when I stop, because my grandma said so. My shop is in town, and I film in front of a window for the natural light, and I'm watching people walk down the sidewalk. I know y'all are wondering what I keep looking at. Open it up, and this is what I have. I'm gonna turn it over and pick up the next one, pretty side to pretty side. Line them up, and I'm gonna sew this. Same, 1/4 inch seam, back stitching when I start and when I stop. I try really hard not to people watch when I'm filming for y'all, but sometimes it's too hard, and I get tickled when I'm editing these videos looking at my eyes, and I know what I'm looking at. Now I have 3 of them together. I'm gonna pick up the last one and do the same thing. I know y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. People watching is the most fun. Now I've sewn 1 row. I'm gonna lay it down, and now I'm gonna do the other 3 rows exactly the same way. I've sewn all 4 of them. Now, lay them back out to make sure they look like what you want them to look like. Now let's iron them. We've talked about this, but this is my ironing situation. I have a wool mat on top of a heat-resistant pad because I'm afraid that the heat will go through my wool mat and burn my table. And this is my most favorite iron that I've ever owned. It's a Chi iron, and this iron, the wool mat, and the heat-resistant pad are all linked in my Walmart storefront, if you're looking for any of it, and that's linked in the caption. Now you can iron your seams open or not. I iron mine to the side, but there's no wrong way to do it, just as long as it's flat. You just want to make sure it's flat. Your corners will match up so much nicer. All right, now we've ironed it. We're going to take our pieces and we're going to lay them back out to make sure they look like what we want them to look like. Because the only thing that's worse than having to take something out right now and fix it is having to take it out after it's all sewn together. Perfect. This is what I want mine to look like. Now, I'm going to take 1 row. I'm going to put it pretty side to pretty side, fold it over just like that. I'm going to start at the top and sew down. I'm going to sew a 1/4 inch seam, back stitching when I start and when I stop. After I sew this, I'm going to open it up, sew the 3rd row to it exactly the same way. Then I'm going to open that up and sew the 4th row to it. This is where you want your seams to match, no matter what you have to do. Pinch, pleat, or pull. Just make sure that your seams match, because if you get one off, it never gets back on. It just gets worse and worse. So as you come to each seam, whatever you have to do, make sure they match. Because nobody's going to notice one piece that's pinched, pleated, or pulled, but they are going to notice when you get to the end of the row and you have a whole extra square or a whole half of a square or your entire quilt is off. Okay, we've sewn it. The next thing we need to do is iron it and then add it to our applique quilt full of all of the woodland animals. Oh my goodness, y'all, it's so cute. My name is Tammy. I'm your favorite sewing teacher.